Guys, it is time to wake up because what I'm about to show you changes everything. For years we've been told that matchmaking is about fairness and skill, but what if I told you that it's all been rigged? That's right, I've got the proof and it's been hidden right under our noses the whole time. In 2019, a patent was filed for a system that's been controlling our matches, prioritizing engagement over fairness, and manipulating every single one of us. And you might think it's skill-based matchmaking. Think again. The real question is, how long are we going to let them get away with it? And the timing is no coincidence. This patent was filed just months before Modern Warfare 2019 dropped, and that's when the rigging began. So stay with me because I'm about to break down the cold, hard facts, so don't miss out on that. And the patent we're about to discuss is called Systems and Methods for Dynamically Weighing Match Variables to Better Tune Player Matches. And you can pause the video if you want and read the abstract for yourself, but I'm just going to sum it up for you guys. So the abstract suggests that the patent describes a system for smart matchmaking in multiplayer video games. What it means, it uses player data and analytics like past performance and behavior to find better player matchups. The system can adjust itself dynamically by learning from real-time gameplay data, and the goal is to continuously improve matchmaking to provide a better, more enjoyable experience for players. And you can think of it as an AI-driven matchmaking system that gets smarter over time based on how players behave. Now let us analyze the patent in more detail, and we have some keywords in there that appear very often, and I'm just going to break it down for you guys in the most easiest way. The patent describes a dynamic matchmaking system that leverages various forms of player and game data, right, to enhance gameplay experiences, optimize player matches, and influence in-game actions such as purchases, group compositions, and NPC behavior, right, AI bots. So here's a detailed breakdown based on the patent's summary. The patent describes a dynamic matchmaking engine, and the core of the system is a matchmaking engine that evaluates player data, such as player roles, preferences, skill levels, and historical performance, and game data, such as game types, game modes, and player combinations, to generate optimal matches between players. For example, the system analyzes whether combinations of roles like snipers and run-and-gunners provide satisfying gameplay. It may adjust matches based on past interactions and preferences to ensure enjoyable gameplay sessions. And it also dynamically adjusts to player preferences for particular roles. For example, snipers, run-and-gunners, and the most effective playstyles. Next up we have player profile and preferences. And the system continuously analyzes a player's historical data to build an evolving player profile. And this profile includes preferences for specific roles, game modes, and performance tendencies. For example, a player may prefer sniper roles or a certain game mode. And the matchmaking engine adjusts the type of matches offered based on this profile to ensure that the player engages in gameplay that aligns with their style. And the system also identifies patterns, such as which players a player prefers to play with and prioritizes matching them accordingly, for example, friends or clan members. Next up we have soft reservations, and the system uses a pipelining engine to create soft reservations for future gameplay sessions. Soft reservations are preliminary matches made for players even before they actively express interest, and these reservations take into account factors like match scores, game profiles, and player profiles. For instance, a soft reservation might be made for a player based on their preferences, for example, preferred roles or game modes, or if their friends or clan members are logged in, ensuring they play together in future sessions. Soft reservations help maintain continuity, ensuring players are placed into games where they'll have the best experience based on previous interactions. And if players decline these invitations, the system can adjust future reservations accordingly by incorporating this feedback into the player's profile. Next up we have overbooking for soft reservations, and the pipelining engine anticipates rejections for soft reservations and thus may overbook matches to compensate for players rejecting invitations. For instance, if a gameplay session can hold 10 players but has 15 soft reservations, the system expects a few rejections and ensures there are still enough players for the game. And overbooking can be dynamically adjusted based on the historical acceptance or rejection rates of players. For example, more skilled players or players who frequently reject invitations may have their reservations adjusted accordingly. The pattern also describes the synchronization of players, and the system can also synchronize the availability of players, especially when they wish to play together. For example, if a player is waiting for their friends to finish a current game, the system can match them into a game that will conclude at a similar time, ensuring the group can play together as soon as the session ends. And this synchronization helps improve the player experience by minimizing wait times and allowing group play to continue without interruptions. And you know what is really interesting, what this pattern also talks about? Purchases. The influence on game-related purchases. And who would have guessed, but a microtransaction engine is incorporated into the system to influence game-related purchases. For example, the system might match a junior player with an expert player who owns items like weapons, skins, etc. that are being promoted for sale in the game. And by showcasing skilled players with these items, the system encourages the junior player to make similar purchases to emulate the expert player. And this is a strategic use of matchmaking to increase sales of in-game items. Now, listen very carefully. Additionally, when a player purchases an item, the system may ensure they are matched into games where the purchase can be effectively used, thereby enhancing the player's enjoyment and reinforcing the value of their purchase, which may lead to more purchases. And I know that there's guys out there who have issues using their brain efficiently, so I'll just break it down in simple terms. What it means is that the game uses a strategy to encourage players to buy items, and it does this by matching less experienced players with expert players who have items for sale. And seeing these expert players with cool items makes the less experienced player want to buy similar items. And the game also ensures that when players do buy something, they are placed in situations where they can use their new item, making them feel good about their purchase and encouraging them to buy more in the future. To break it down even more for the brain dead guys out there, if you buy something in the game, you will get bot lobbies on purpose. The game gets easier on purpose. Why? Because it wants you to buy more stuff. And maybe, just maybe, if you stop buying things in the store, like bundles and skins, maybe your lobbies get more difficult again. Just a thought. Next up, we have optimal group composition, and the system can analyze player profiles to suggest optimal group compositions for specific gameplay scenarios. For example, if a player is uncertain about which team to join, the system can suggest groups based on factors like role diversity, skill levels, past performance, and other player characteristics. And this helps form groups that have a higher chance of success and player satisfaction. And the matchmaking system can identify successful groups based on past performances, for example, wins or objectives completed, or player enjoyment, and recommend such groups to new players. And it also talks about NPCs, right? Non-player character management. And the system also manages NPCs, right? AI bots, selecting or generating them to fill gaps in teams or clans when there are not enough human players to complete a session. For example, when only 9 human players join a game requiring 10 players, the system can add NPCs to complete the team. Sounds familiar, right? The system assigns NPCs based on match scores to ensure that NPCs fit into the desired roles and enhance the overall experience. For instance, if a balanced team of snipers and run and gunners is optimal, the system ensures NPCs are placed in the team to fill those roles. NPCs are also continuously improved by analyzing their performance and adjusting their profiles based on their effectiveness in previous matches. And now guys, last but not least, we have NPC difficulty and behavior. And the matchmaking system adjusts NPC difficulty by assigning NPCs with higher match scores, indicating better performance, to more skilled players. And this ensures that NPC opponents provide an appropriate level of challenge, making the game more engaging for human players. And NPC profiles are created and refined just as player profiles, considering factors like NPC strategy and tactics. And this continuous improvement helps maintain competitive difficulty and ensures that NPCs provide a challenging and dynamic experience for players. So what does all of this mean? Well, in essence, the patent describes a complex, dynamic matchmaking system that uses detailed player data and game information to create optimal matches. It integrates soft reservations to improve future match experiences, even anticipating player preferences and behavior. It also influences game-related purchases through matchmaking and item exposure and optimizes group compositions and balances teams, whether human players or NPCs. It also continuously refines NPC performance based on match data, ensuring an engaging experience. And this system aims to enhance player satisfaction, improve game dynamics, and integrate economic strategies like microtransactions while keeping gameplay engaging through dynamic matchmaking and NPC management. There are also 13 keywords that you will read in the patent over and over again. And these keywords highlight the system's focus on personalized player experience, optimized gameplay, and integration with in-game purchases, all driven by advanced matchmaking logic and continuous player and NPC profiling. Matchmaking engine, central to the system, responsible for generating optimal player matches. Player profile, used to track player preferences, behaviors, and historical data to influence matchmaking. Game profile, defines the characteristics of games or sessions guiding matchmaking decisions. NPCs, managed by the system to fill gaps in teams and adjust difficulty. Microtransaction engine, used to influence in-game purchases by matching players in a way that encourages spending. Match scores, a key metric to evaluate player and NPC performance, used to optimize matches and difficulty. Soft reservations, pre-booked matches made in anticipation of player availability, ensuring a smooth gameplay experience. Group composition, refers to the balance of roles and players in a team, which the system optimizes for better gameplay. Player behavior, influences matchmaking based on players' actions and preferences. Skill levels, used to evaluate and match players based on their performance abilities. Difficulty level, determined by match scores and used to adjust the challenge level for players. Item promotion, a concept related to the microtransaction engine influencing purchases through item visibility and player interaction. And last but not least, game-related purchases, in-game transactions that are influenced by the matchmaking process. And these keywords, guys, they highlight the system's focus on personalized player experiences, optimized gameplay, and integration with in-game purchases, all driven by advanced matchmaking logic and continuous player and NPC profiling. So, the patent we're analyzing was filed in April 2019, coincidentally just before Modern Warfare 2019 launched, and contains key details that explain exactly how matchmaking is being manipulated to optimize engagement, not necessarily skill. So let's break down why this is important and why it's irrefutable. First, the patent explicitly describes a system that tunes matchmaking in real time for individual players. And the example is striking. If a player is on a losing streak, the system will prioritize the player's skill level less and match them with lower skilled opponents or higher skilled teammates. And this is not skill-based matchmaking where players are balanced purely by skill. Instead, this is an attempt to manipulate the player's experience to maximize engagement. And the goal here isn't to make matches fair based on skill, but to adjust the player's chances of winning to boost engagement, which may make them more likely to keep playing and potentially spend money. And here's where it gets even more suspicious. The patent also mentions a microtransaction engine that leverages matchmaking to influence purchases. If a marquee player, someone with a high skill level or unique item, uses a specific item in the game, the matchmaking system may pair that player with a junior player who doesn't have that item, essentially driving the junior player to make a purchase just to emulate the marquee player. Now, the marquee player label is used 18 times in the patent, and the system has clearly been designed to optimize spending by encouraging players to buy the items used by marquee players. Now, consider the fact that in Modern Warfare 2, the marketing of marquee bundles became a thing, with specific in-game items such as skins or weapons being sold as part of these bundles. And the use of the marquee term in both the patent and in-game promotions raises serious red flags. This isn't just about skill. This is about creating a system that incentivizes purchases through matchmaking manipulation. And on top of this, the patent explains how the system can filter out certain unfavorable matches by analyzing player compositions. This means that if two players are deemed incompatible, the system simply filters them out and does not consider them for matchmaking. And this is not about creating fair, competitive experiences. It's about creating a gameplay session that will keep players engaged for longer periods, and the system doesn't want balanced matches. What it wants is engagement optimization. And then there's the aspect of NPCs. The patent details how the system may use NPCs as opponents, with NPCs dynamically selected based on match scores and the difficulty they present to players. This means that the system may deliberately make NPCs more challenging or easier to fit the desired difficulty curve for a player, adjusting the experience to keep the player engaged rather than making it fair or balanced based on skill level. So why does this matter? Because this is proof that EOMM is being used to influence how players experience the game, not just based on their skill level, but based on how much they're likely to spend. And this isn't a conspiracy theory. It's written in black and white in a patent filed before Modern Warfare 2019 launched. The facts are in front of us, and no one has proven that these systems aren't working as described. This system is designed to keep players hooked, to manipulate them into spending more money, and to create a rigged experience that prioritizes engagement over skill. And skill-based matchmaking, as it's traditionally understood, doesn't match the description in the patent. And what we're seeing in Call of Duty is EOMM, and that's a problem. And that would explain my experience, right? The thing that I'm saying since a couple of weeks, that we have NPCs, AI bots in the game. It is engagement optimized matchmaking. You just shove down these people with skins in your lobbies. These people just rail you completely. You have no chance in surviving in these lobbies. And it is all because they want to push you to buy microtransactions, and ultimately you will have an easier time. And these systems will try to make you understand that if you buy some stuff, you will get easier lobbies. And this is what it says in the patent. It also describes marquee players in the patent. Why do we have marquee bundles? Are people just too stupid to connect the dots, or what is going on? Like, what more proof do we need that the system is rigged? I'm calling this out also for weeks now, that the system is rigged. And people are just like, oh, it's just clickbait and rage baiters. No, the game is fundamentally broken. It is rigged on purpose. They have these patents for a reason. And Modern Warfare 2019 played trash because of the patents. The game always plays like the patents describe, you know? The game plays like the patents read, so to say. It is insane. I don't know what else you want me to prove at this point. There is not a single person that can debunk this. And you know what the best thing is? This patent right here is just the beginning. I mean, this just explains engagement optimized matchmaking, but this is just one patent that they have, right? They have so much more patents that talk about NPCs, real-time adjustments, microtransactions. There's even a patent that could indicate why our aim sometimes feels a little bit off, right? Like some aim manipulation, but this is a patent that I will tackle in the next video, because I had to get this out now, because this patent is there for over 5 years now, 6 years. And I mean, people know about it. There's a lot of people that have already talked about it, but no one seems to care. Why? Like, it was always in front of us the whole time. So yeah, my guys, do whatever you want with that information. There you have it. You know, the patent proves beyond a doubt that what we're dealing with is engagement optimized matchmaking, not skill-based matchmaking. For years, they've been rigging the system, making sure we are hooked, not giving us a fair fight. And the worst part, no one's talking about it, but we can't ignore the facts anymore. The time to wake up is now, guys. If you think this is just a coincidence, you're wrong. Modern Warfare 2019 was the turning point, and we've got the proof, and it's time for the community to demand change. So don't let Activision keep us in the dark. Share this video, spread the truth, and make sure everyone knows what's really going on, because we deserve better. I'm saying this since weeks now, and it's time we fight for it.